Good afternoon and welcome to the Nancy DeKatch Caregiver Show. I'm Nancy DeKatch and we are in the studio here at the Flint Talk Radio in Flint, Michigan. And um, we've been on the show, we've been on the air a year now, Ron.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
believe that? 1 year we've been on the air. Unbelievable.
How time
It
flies.
does, it does. And anyway, I want to welcome my co-host back, Ronald Rowland. Love to have you with me. We've been doing so many things together and
Yes, we have.
trying to get the business up and running, but I'm so glad that you're here in the studio today. So much to talk about. I'm on my way to the studio. We're 20 minutes late getting on the air. I'm on time and everything, and I hit the college and bumper to bumper traffic. Can't figure out what's going on. It's
I think it's because of the weather.
the storm that's
Right,
coming.
right.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be going out of town tomorrow morning.
yeah.
I don't know
It's
if we're gonna do it or
we
not.
need the snow. We need the moisture, for our crops. But boy, it's really interesting how people can prepare. They have a plan for the weather, but they don't have a plan for caregiving. It's just really, really strange. But things are changing. Great things are going on in our little bitty city of Flint, Michigan. Types of events are going on, and all types of health fairs, and just so many great things are coming on board. And I think that this caregiver business is finally kind of come to a head, and everybody's starting to collaborate with one another, and it's just going to benefit everybody, and it's just so nice to see that. And it is a hard job, but a lot of people are on board to make your life a little easier, us included. And with that said, I want to take this opportunity to invite each and every one of you to the Caregiver Retreat and Symposium on May 18th at the Birch Run Expo Center. It is going to be a fantastic respite weekend for you, and we want you to attend. The admission fee is $8 to get in, and when you come, you will just enjoy so much. We have an outstanding educational program. We have the classic car show for our respite party. There's so many other things that are going on in the area for you to do. And we are doing this for you because we care about you and your well being, and we want to make sure you have the tools that you may need to make your journey a little easier. It's just very difficult, but so many wonderful people have come on board to help us. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have Rick Barnett Financial. We have Dr. Schmidt, and we have Laura Rule. We just have so many great, great, great businesses that are collaborating with us. I don't want to forget the latest businesses that have joined us. Accessory Sites is a fashion company that's come on board, and they emailed me today to confirm.
Oh,
And I
okay.
have something called His Hand 777, which is a jewelry company. And this might sound a little uneasy to some people, but she makes handmade cremation jewelry where you can put someone's ashes in a locket, perhaps, or something like that. And she makes beautiful uh,
Jewelry.
memorial pieces for you, urns, and all kinds of really neat things. So we're really thankful to Barb for coming on board, and also Mariah. And that just makes us feel really good because we're averaging about between 2 and 8 new vendors a week or sponsors. And that's really good
Yes,
since we
it
just
is.
launched our project in January
Right.
and it's almost March. But tomorrow's a special day for me because tomorrow will be the Nancy DeKatch Caregiver Institute's 4th anniversary.
Oh.
So it happens to be my late husband Joe's birthday, which I launched, for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe it. We've made it 4 years, and look where we're at. And so many great things have come, to pass. And we're not going to slow down. This business is here to stay, and we've made it. We've made it. Next year will be our 5 year mark, and that'll be a great celebration. And
Yes.
we're just so thankful for what we have, and we're here to help you. So we're going to talk a little bit about respite today.
Okay.
Respite. Everyone calls that respite. Respite. And I remember saying that too when I talked to Governor Granholm's office, and they said, well, you need some respite. help. And I said, respite. He said, no, respite. So, but what that means is a timeout for the caregiver. There's so many uh, different forms of the respite services, but generally how it works is respite means that you, the caregiver, get a little break. So somebody comes into the home or takes that person to the doctor or whatever, and you get to have a little bit of rest.
It gives you a chance to reinvigorate yourself.
Right.
A little me time to relax and not be worried about the activities of taking care of your patient. It allows you just to sit back and relax.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice, and it's also, it's hard for caregivers when it comes to time management. So you offer this respite service, and it's your time to do whatever you want to do within that time frame. And have you made a plan for your own personal well-being? Do you like to read, or do you like to write music, or do you like to sing in a band or a choir, or anything you like to? Maybe perhaps you like to paint or just go visit with your friends. You need to have that plan so that when you become overwhelmed, you've got some type of an escape, something that you love, because so many times when you're a caregiver, you forget who you are. And these services are becoming more known, and there's more and more research being done on the caregiver and the toll it takes on a person's life. And so with that said, you need to embrace your gift and find something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget who you are and take it. And that's the philosophy behind the respite retreat and symposium that we're hosting. Is this is your time, and this is our gift to give to you, so that you can learn some things and learn not to forget about who you are, because you will eventually lose yourself, and you'll have to start all over, like I did, and so many people that I know have done the same thing. And so that's what you need to do. You need to be selfish. You don't need to feel guilty. You need to let all those emotions just fall to the side, and you need to say, I'm important, and this is my time, and I'm going to do what I want to do. And you just walk out that door, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just walk out the door and come back when you know you have to come back. Like 2 or 3 hours later, you just come back, and it's okay. And it sends a strong message to the sick person too. And it's a tool I use on my grandkids. I used it on my kids too. When they start acting up, or they're messing around at the table and they were picky eaters and they don't want their food, I just take their plate away and tell them, you can eat next time. And they just look at you like, you can't do that to me, because they didn't get away with what they wanted to get away with. Right. They wanted to manipulate and cause a ruckus and cause a disturbance at the table. And then, I don't like that, because I don't enjoy my meal, and the other kids are chewing and eating fast, and they could choke. And so I just take their food away. And they don't like it. But they learn that reality discipline. Mm-hmm. Same type of technique with caregivers, reality discipline. And we have to do it ourselves. And I want to share a little something that I did for myself when I was, and I'm still doing it to recover. I take a piece of poster board. I put my name on it, and I put down what I have to do each day, and I give myself a star when I do it, because I forget to eat. Mm. That's my biggest thing. I forget to eat. I get so busy in what I want to do. I wake up, I get my coffee. I love my coffee. I love turning on the news and finding out what's going on. I'm finally getting back to watching the news on a daily basis, and it's so weird. So many things are going on.
Oh, yes.
So many trends. But I'll tell you what, I love that Michelle Obama. I love that. Our First Lady, I love her.
I heard on the radio this morning.
Yeah. I just love her. What enthusiasm she brings. Mm-hmm. And, it's so something I never paid attention to before.
Well, every time I've heard her speak, she's just fantastic. She's so down to earth.
Is she ever? She's
just
so
a pure
real.
person, yeah.
cracked me up when she told Oprah Winfrey that she makes her daughters make their own bed. She says, I don't care if you are the daughters of the president, you're making your own bed. Go, mom, you know?
Yeah.
I'm for real.
Train them now.
That's right.
Yeah. I believe in that philosophy.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was great. But yeah, so those are some of the things that I'm learning to enjoy again, where I couldn't concentrate before. And so good things are happening. I'm going to talk a little bit about our Pamper parties for caregivers. It comes up on March 9th, and we want you there. If you are a caregiver or you have a business and you would like to be a vendor, we'd like to know about that, and we'd like you to call and reserve your spot. 810-845-6713. Call us and let us know that you want to be a part of that. And we are getting ready to launch another really great event, and that is the largest Pamper Me Party for caregivers in Genesee County, which we're going to launch and celebrate in October at the riverfront. Yeah, hotel downtown Flint, and we have the chamber involved in that, and so we're very excited about it. It's our Caregivers Day Out, and that's what the chamber named it, the Caregivers Day Out event.
Okay.
So that's really great. So that's another wonderful thing that we're doing, and all the money that we raise, we use for education and respite services. So we just want you to know that the money that you do give to the nonprofit covers for those things. It's for the caregiver, and we want it to be a win-win for everyone, and we want you to remain healthy and stay whole. And so that's what we do. We raise all this money for our people, and they deserve it.
Yes, they do.
So deserving. You know, I
Yes.
think about these parents that have little children with disabilities, and the little kids are being born with leukemia, and just no, they're not born with leukemia, but they end up getting leukemia, and they need transplants, and just all kinds of very, very sad things. And I get calls almost every day about families needing help, and it just breaks my heart.
I can imagine so.
It breaks my heart.
You hate to see young, children going through those kinds of agonizing and painful diseases and disabilities and so forth.
Yeah, the injections, I think that's the hardest thing. And some of these little kids are so brave. The courage they have. It's just unbelievable what they go through. And I don't know where they get their strength. Maybe it's because they're so innocent. But if you're going to have your blood drawn, it's going to hurt. And whether you're a little kid or you're an adult, I don't like it. It hurts. But they have such courage,
Well, I think it depends on the individual, because it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't, because you grow to learn that, Or you get that nice, fresh, tender skin, and oh man, that hurts. But they are brave. Brave, brave, brave. I know my granddaughter, Chloe, she was born and disabled, and she was only 3 pounds, and she was born full term. And she had that needle in her head, for her IVs. She had this black hair that stuck straight up. She looked like Einstein. That's funny. But she's alive. She's alive because somebody gave blood. She had a blood transfusion. It saved her life. She's going to be 16 years old this year. Yeah, and she grows hair for Locks of Love. Yeah, beautiful black hair with the blue sheen to it, and that's what she does, and that's her purpose in life. And my daughter-in-law always dresses her up really nice and doesn't treat her any differently than any other child. Makes sure she has bows in her hair and all that, and it's just really wonderful that they've been able to adopt like that. I just concern, when they lose their role, that's a big change, and there's just a lot of things going on out there. Big things in our government concerning
with the fiscal cliff.
Yeah,
I heard the president speak earlier this afternoon. He was in, I believe, West Virginia, somewhere in the on the East Coast, at a shipping yard. And it's just a shame that the lawmakers can't come together and come up with an equitable plan to try to forego this fiscal cliff. Uh, Hopefully they'll come to some sort of resolution before the deadline. I don't know why it takes so long, but
That's the problem.
those are our representatives. Lord help them.
I just don't know. Our problem's that bad that we don't even have the experts of the experts knowing what to do with these problems. They're big, but they're going to affect us. That's the scary thing.
I don't think it's so much not knowing what to do. It's the stance that each side takes and the opposition to, what they're proposing. It's, it's like they're in teams going into battle or something like this here, and they're unwilling to give. And we're at a very dire situation. And I don't want to get off into politics, but they need to come to some sort of resolution that's going to be equitable for all Americans.
Well, when you think about our government and the system, that's really not that many people making decisions compared to the amount of people that are under their leadership.
Right.
And we're the ones that are suffering. And we're waiting and waiting and waiting for a decision to be made. And then the decision's made, and then you have to wait for a long time for you to receive benefits. It's crazy.
You may not even see no
exactly.
benefits. And what some of them are proposing, not us on this end, we may not see any benefits. We'll be the recipient of the cuts and so forth. I think that's pathetic.
There's so much now. Yeah. Gas is going up, $3.85? 15 cents more, and we'll be at $4, and we're only maybe 2 months before for really nice weather.
I've seen it at $3.99.
$3.99.
Right. Yep.
$3.99. That is just outrageous. I don't know what people are going to do. And then Michigan's talking about raising minimum wage to $10, about $10. But it doesn't matter.
Everything else.
We made double digits, but big deal. Yeah, so many cuts. Conversation today in the office about HIPAA law. Pros and cons about the HIPAA law. All kinds of things. Husband and wife. Husband gets sick. Wife needs to know what's going on. But the HIPAA law comes into play. And you wonder, some people say, well, you can't do that. That's my spouse. I have the right to speak for that person. I mean, things are just getting out of hand.
Yeah, we've become too technical.
Very.
Trying to cover every base when we should just be realistic.
Something supersedes something here.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I'm going to ask our group of attorneys about that so we can get the record straight. Mm-hmm. But I can understand that the HIPAA law needs to be there for different reasons, But, I mean, it kind of gets out of hand. Quite if this HIPAA law was enforced when Joe was alive, man, I'd be in real trouble. Mm-hmm. But they wouldn't do that to me because I was free. Mm-hmm. And I worked for free and watched this individual and took care of him. So, yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Trying to collect numbers of the amount of aged in Genesee County. Haven't gotten the figures yet on that. I'm just very curious about that. To see if these, the millage, the citizens millage that we had, how much money they get. Yeah, how much money they actually get. What are the true numbers in our area?
Is that handled by the county?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they should be able to give you some data.
Yeah, I'd like to find out what those census are because I have some ideas about some things. I'd like to find out that number, and I'd like to find out, the sandwich generation number, how many caregivers there are if you're under the senior age, but before, 30, between 35 and 60. I'd like to find out that number if you're a caregiver, what the percent is.
Well,
It's getting
yeah.
bigger and bigger.
Well,
That percent, it's
yeah,
growing.
I know it is. But you should be able to pull some data from the census.
Hmm.
But you may have to go to the federal government for that for this
Yeah.
particular area.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to see, because I'm seeing as we're out and about making presentations or going to the different support groups, that the face of the caregiver is getting younger and younger.
Mm-hmm.
It's now, they were saying 42 for a female. Now it's down to 38.
Mm.
So at the time, my husband's, when he was alive, I was 42. But, now it's 38. And those are your prime years, when you're employed at a job for a certain amount of years, you reach about 38, 40, 41, 42.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your prime years.
Right.
And then caregiving interferes, and
That puts.
your life's interrupted. And so I'm very curious to see that. And there's all kinds of new studies coming out, all kinds of different terminology. There's some research being done about caregiving, and they have different terms about that. And those studies take 4 or 5 years to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time they actually evaluate everything and then put it into the forms, the documents, and then they take these documents and then they go out and they try to collect money based on these statistics. 8 years have gone by.
Right.
But at least they've got to start. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's really important. They finally taken the needs, our needs, and they want
Excuse me.
to do something about it, which I think is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
I know they were starting this study about 9 years ago at U of M, and I signed up for it, but I couldn't participate. And maybe I should have.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I was too busy. But I think that's really a good thing. And I think a lot of it is going to show your mental stability. And now they're saying that the mental stability is what's causing the physical instability.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
All the pressure on to make sure that your patient is being taken care of properly, and then trying to access the resources that you need. So I can understand the pressure.
Yeah. It's big. And so they're learning, which we know from our own unofficial research, that the mind is so vital when you're caring for somebody. You have to keep yourself positive, and it is so hard to be positive.
Well, you come up against so many roadblocks, just trying to traverse through the various resources that are out here. They all have their own set of criteria, and you're trying to meet that, and you run into these stumbling blocks. And that's, that's somewhat of a downer going through those situations.
It really is. I met a young man, had a serious accident at a party, and now he lives in a wheelchair. And it's sad. It's just such a sad story because of some of the things that are happening to him. He's able to work. He's extremely intelligent, and he developed this beautiful caregiver program and presented it to the state. And he had hopes of educating what he called you train the trainer. And he had this beautiful, beautiful program. And of course it got turned down. There's no money to fund it. And I felt so bad because here this young man, his life changed. His mind was sharp as a tack. Created this beautiful product with enthusiasm to go out and make a difference in his world for other people so they get an understanding. And here it gets shot down. But the thing that's so remarkable about this kid, he created another business. He just didn't really worry about it. just okay, that happened. I've got another business, and he's now has a very, very, very profitable graphic business, graphic art business. He makes banners, he makes T-shirts, he does, very much like our other friends do, and he's disabled, but nothing stopped him.
Right. Well,
Amazing.
he's motivated. He was motivated, and he wasn't going to let something bar him from,
Yeah.
reaching that goal. So he's to be admired for altering and taking on another project.
Yeah.
That's
He
something to
was
be admired.
talking to me about some of his difficulties, and it was just wonderful, what he shared, and what he's done with his life, and where he's going to go. And I am so proud of this kid. I just love him. I just love him to death. I love people like that. They make a difference, and that's that typical if you get lemons, you're gonna make lemonade type story, right?
Right.
Yeah, he's just absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to do more things with him. We're talking about doing a wheelchair drive where we get people that don't need wheelchairs anymore. You bring them to the office, and we will disperse them to other countries where people don't have wheelchairs. And there's an actual, I never knew this, they have an actual airplane for disabled products to take to other countries, Africa and stuff, and they actually load this airplane up with all the goodies and transport them. It's amazing. There's all kinds of neat things that we want to do, to help people on an international level. I know some bad storms are coming. You can tell the snowstorm's coming our way.
Right.
We're going to get slammed with a blizzard. The last blizzard was in the 70s. We lived in Milwaukee, and this blizzard was so bad they shut the whole town of Milwaukee down. I'll never forget it. And the wind's just a blowing, and
Yeah.
you don't see blizzards too much, only on TV, in the westerns. But there's a real one coming our way, and they are nothing to mess with.
Well, they got a real one out in Kansas right now. That is horrible. I was watching CNN earlier today. They're really catching it out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Babies still have to be born.
Yeah.
I would advise, if you are an expected mother, you better get to the hospital or get nearby or something, because I had my youngest one at home, and that's no fun. That is no fun at all, and it's not in a blizzard either. But my grandson was born during Hurricane Andrew. Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah. But there's all kinds of stuff that are going on. But this young man, anyway, getting back to him, he's remarkable. And, if you have a business idea, don't push it down. Just keep it, keep focusing on that. And I think, eventually that could come true for you. And we've got the best business plan writer sitting right next to us. I don't know how many business plans you've written for businesses. I know probably hundreds, and
Not quite that many.
that's quite a
Not
few.
yet.
And successful businesses. And I'd like to host a class for people that have an idea, that would like to start a business, and teach them some of the things. And they have all types of programs. We went to Michigan State for ours, and but there's some things that you miss when you're in a business class like that.
Right.
I don't know. Well, you went to what school did you go to again?
Well, I went to a internship on the East Coast called Development Training Institute, and it was a year-long internship, and it was made up of executive directors and senior personnel of nonprofit corporations, and they brought in all kind of experts, bankers, and everybody to help instruct us on various components of business activities and so forth. And that's how I got into it.
Yeah, and it's very different. Like now, you sign up for the class and you have your instructors there, and they talk to you a little bit, but they ask you to name your business and find out what your mission statement is and all that. But then basically just, you're on your own.
No more.
But yours was entirely different. You had hands-on approach. You had uh, people that have been there actually giving you the
Right,
tips and
right,
that.
right. We had all kind of paperwork to do. We had models of different types of businesses. And then we had to design our own business. We broke into groups and had to make presentations to the other students, and it was quite interesting.
Yeah,
Quite interesting.
and that's why people that have had their business plan, written by you, you really educate them, and they understand. There's no doubt when they're done with you what you're going to do, and then some.
Right. Well, you lay out every aspect of the business, things that people take for granted, but and I have a software package that helps assist me
Mm-hmm.
also, and it just helps lay things out and gives you a good roadmap, and it has the flexibility to be altered if you run into some situations that you hadn't anticipated. So it's a pretty good flow, and you can I do projections out to 5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
you can see whether or not you're making the type of profit that you need in order to move forward, and where you need to make your adjustments at.
Yeah, and I know in business class we talked a lot about write your business plan, make sure it's solid, and refer to it often.
Right.
Refer to, because you will forget, and I know it's real easy in our business to get off track, especially me because I've got such a creative mind. But you need to know exactly what you're doing, and you need to stay focused. And it is fun to go off track a little bit and do some other things and other types of exploring. But you have to understand what it is you really do,
Right.
and you can have multiple businesses, but each one is individual,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to stick to that. But that's something that our classes would be a little different than what's out there right now, and hopefully we can get that accomplished. But we've got some things that we have to do in the future. We'll hope to have one of those, but right now we're working on a couple different things. Some interesting support group ideas have come to us, and one was a support group for caregivers that have suffered trauma, which I thought was interesting because I fit in that category. I always considered myself to be an individual that fit in with like the Jackie Onassis group. When you have a loved one and they're taken away suddenly, there's a group that you fit in, and because people understand that deep hurt and betrayal and all the anger issues and everything that comes with it, which is death is hard anyway, but you can rationalize some things, you can justify something, you can say this person had a good long life, or this person's life ended too soon, but they did everything, they accomplished everything in that short life that maybe somebody that lived a long life had done, so, but when somebody's taken so suddenly in a violent way perhaps, or just something unexpected, you don't have time to prepare for it.
Right.
You fit into a group where you need a different type of counseling, and so this idea has been brought to the table. And if you're a caregiver and you've suffered a deep trauma, you may want to consider attending this support group. We don't have it quite organized yet. We are working on getting some leaders for that, but I think it's really important. And I think that our public out there, when they hear my story, I think it's allowed them to recognize that maybe they've had a trauma in their caregiving experience that they need to get over. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you just need to put those childish things behind and move on. It's always going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
but it is going to pop up. But there's things that we can do to make that less evident. And those are all learning skills that you have to learn. And so I thought that was really neat. And I thank you, Jeanette, for bringing that idea to us. And we are working on that. So we hope to have a calendar ready very soon. And we also are going to be offering support for widows and widowers because that's a real trauma. I got this website sent to me. Somebody referred a website to me where it was for widows and widow groups where they have these meetings and they support groups, and it's nothing more than a dating site. And I thought, wow. I don't know how many of them are widows, but they said they were. But I thought that was really interesting.
It's a way to meet people, and probably they're lonely or something. So
Yeah.
no wrong with
I was
that.
a little shocked by that. Like, wow. They're smiling and they're happy, all that. And I thought, wow, that's good because it shows you that it's either they're legitimate and they really have gone through all the stages of your grief, or they're imposters.
Well,
It's hard to say. It's a dating site, so I don't
they have
know.
so many dating sites. I don't see why anyone would want to
Classify it.
falsify being going through all these crises when they could go to an alternate
Yeah.
dating site, which is purely there for dating. Yeah, so
I don't know. I've never had luck. I've never been on a dating site before. I've never registered or anything like that. Nobody would want me. And you say that to yourself, but it's just so much is done on the internet. I had a meeting today about you can fax from your computer. I don't know, you scan it and then I don't know how, how I am with computers. But anyway, I was just fascinated by that you don't even need a fax machine.
right.
You don't need a phone line either. You just need the internet.
Oh, okay.
I just thought that was really weird.
I still use my fax machine. I do send emails with attachments. But
Yeah, attachments. Maybe that's what they're talking about. That's the new fax. I guess it is. But yeah, we talk a lot about some of that computer stuff. I don't know if I'll ever accomplish this thing. I'm trying, but it's not that easy for me. Yeah.
I've been working around for what's this? I started messing with computers probably about 85, and that's well over 30 years. Pretty close to 30 years. So
I remember in high
28
school,
years.
the computer was a room, and it had the great big wheels, and they would turn real slow. IBM,
Right.
IBM, and Apple, and these wheels would turn. It looked like they had tapes on it. They would turn like a oversized tape player, because regular tape.
Right.
And I thought that was really interesting, and it was fascinating back then, but I didn't comprehend it. And now I think everybody has a computer,
Oh,
whether it's their
yeah.
phone or
Right. Yeah, you'd be lost in today's world without at least having access to one.
yeah.
You can go to the library or something like that to learn. I mean, to use. I was fortunate when the agency I worked for, we went to a computerized system, and as we were having them installed, I was with the gentleman that was installing them, and I just picked his brain, with everything that he had. And at that time, we actually had to do our own programming. So I learned how to program, and that helped me out immensely. I can do I can put together financial packages
Yeah.
that does computations and stuff like that. So it really helped me out.
Yeah, I remember what they called DOS. I remember that being a big deal. I did take a computer class at Baker College, and I ended up with pneumonia that year, so I had to drop out. But they had the floppy disk. The little blue things.
Right, the real floppies.
Real
Yeah,
floppies.
I know what you're talking
Look,
about.
little microfilm. And you put them in your computer, and they actually went in this little slot.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went to the hard drive with the little disc on it.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very strange.
They really evolved now.
They certainly have.
Yeah.
It's Windows program.
Mm-hmm.
The Windows is amazing.
Yeah, so many different applications with variations of Windows. I mean, does all sorts of things. Yeah, Windows Publishing, Outlook, Excel, Word, PowerPoint. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Neat stuff.
yeah.
Really, really neat stuff. And we just learned this new, what is it called? OVU?
Yeah, that's internet video conferencing.
Yeah. Video
Yeah.
conferencing.
That's fantastic. I had an opportunity to talk to my sister in Texas, my niece in Houston, my brother in Bridgeport, and my other niece here in Burton. We were all on a video conference at the same time.
I know, just amazing. You know, it's really weird because you remember when the man walked on the moon
Yeah.
and they were getting out of the spaceship and you could actually see what was going on. It wasn't real clear, but you could actually see it. You knew it was the person and they'd bounce. You know, they bounce.
Yeah.
The Moonwalks then came out. Those
Right.
things that we know now is the bounce houses, but they were actually called the Moonwalks. And it's just amazing. So much happens with our technology from NASA. Joe's artificial heart, the pump inside his heart was the same pump they used on the space shuttle to move the fluids through. And here they implanted it in a person's body to allow them to live. That's just amazing.
Yes.
All this stuff came from NASA. Computer, the technologies, the satellites. That blows my mind too. About last week when we were talking on the show, we were talking about the meteor that was supposed to be hitting some of our satellites. And then at the same time, it was the Japanese that were going to release that nuclear missile.
No, it's Koreans.
Korean, I'm sorry,
Right.
Korean. I said that before. It's a Korean. And I was thinking about that. Wow, we probably need those rockets to go, and they can, the target is so precise that it could, a missile could be released to destroy that meteor so it wouldn't hit the Earth. And they keep talking about the massive meteor that's coming, but it just can destroy it in space, and we're safe.
Hopefully they can.
Yeah.
I hope we don't get
I
to
think
that
about stuff like that.
I try not to. I just hope a big meteor doesn't hit the
I can't even
Yeah, it is.
imagine how gigantic this world looks outside of where we're at. It has to be just huge. It just has to be beautiful. Just beautiful. And to get up into the orbit and see all the different planets just there. What a sight to see.
Yeah.
And just a few people, a few human beings that have been fortunate enough to leave our Earth to see something like that. Absolutely amazing. And the brilliance that these people have to put these satellites together and to know how to fix them, and the engineers. It just amazes me.
We've had our tragedies behind that also. When that space shuttle exploded, that was horrible. But
I just think it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. What we're doing, and we don't even know. This is just the beginning. Now that we've gone pretty much, you know, we're a satellite country. I can't even imagine what's going to happen. We went satellite in 2010, 2011, when everything went satellite. They got rid of the old TVs and all the new ones came into play, and
I believe so, somewhere around there.
so we're only like 2 years old, totally satellite enhanced. I just can't even imagine.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what they call the old TVs. What was that?
But the test tubes,
Well,
the Zeniths.
yeah, I remember those, but I'm thinking about when you had the antennas That's how you get your signals with the antenna.
Little antennas. Yeah, there. Who was the other big brand? There was something Mathis. There was
Curtis Mathis.
Curtis Mathis.
Yeah.
You had Zenith,
Syl-
Philips,
Sylvania.
Sylvania,
Motorola.
Motorola. They don't even exist anymore. Now it's Sony,
Toshiba.
Samsung. Yeah.
Mitsubishi.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you bought a TV, they just had a little TV. You know, they didn't have anything. It was just a little square metal box, and you'd have to take the bulbs out of the back. Remember that? And they had these prongs, and you'd go to the TV store and replace your battery.
Yeah, those are tubes.
Or your bulb.
Yeah, those are tubes. I don't know what kind of tubes they were, but I know what you're talking about.
They look like light bulbs,
Yeah,
long
right.
light bulbs.
I had no little prongs, and you stick
And
them.
they stuck, yeah, and it was easy to fix.
Yeah.
But boy, they were expensive. And people did not like to be without their TVs.
No, not once we got used to them.
Yeah. And then they went and they changed it all.
It's changed a lot.
Everything's a computer now, or smart TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Those are slick.
Yeah. I got two real nice TVs.
Yeah.
Whenever someone calls in my home, it shows up on my TV. I can track all the phone calls I get. I've got it to where I can stop a show.
Pause.
Run it back if it's something I wanted to see. I love that, especially during football season.
Yeah, I know. I watch, every now and then I'll watch Andy Griffith. And as the funniest show sometimes. Because you can watch it and you're an adult and it's got a whole new meaning.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a family show. I wonder, have we lost that? Do we have any writers out there that can write, great writers?
Well, we probably got them out there, but do you have the audience that's looking?
That would want, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so much reality TV and stuff. I'm not off into a lot of that.
Yeah, that is true. We have a different trained eye now. If it's everything needs to be James Bond and beyond, all the fiction and the digital enhancements and things that they do now, and it's more than just great color, and all of that. I just can't even imagine. I wonder about these robots that are out today. And apparently they're getting better and better and more lifelike, and you wouldn't even know that you could walk by something and it's a robot. You wouldn't know if it's a human or a robot.
I haven't seen those yet, other than on TV.
Just can't even imagine. I know respite robots are quite popular right now, and you can buy them. $100,000. You can have your very own robot. They've got robots in medical studies, and they actually can give you injection. But really, when you think about it, the robots are assisting the surgeons with surgery. The surgeons not only have to learn to be a doctor, but they have to learn robotics. And they sit behind a glass. The patient's in the operating room, and the robot makes incision. The robot gives injection. The robot cuts. The robot does everything, and the doctors are behind the glass maneuvering the robot very much like a crane driver. With the different levers and everything. It's amazing.
I hadn't heard that.
Absolutely amazing.
Wow.
So I have to wonder about a pathologist. What happens if say you have a tumor and the surgeon's unclear about how much tissue to remove so that it's safe? I wonder if the robot opens up that skin, and who comes in to say we need to take a centimeter or something more off. I just wonder about that stuff.
Well, I'm quite sure they would have to take that into account in prepping the robot to do something, because the doctor should have the skill to know what to
Exactly.
take and what not to take. I hate for them to have the robot make a decision.
Yeah. The two pathologists that, we know, they said the surgeon would be in there with the patient, and they the disease part that they're going to remove was questionable, and they weren't sure if they could, where exactly the cutoff point would be. So they call the pathologist in, and the pathologist scrubs and everything and goes in to the examining room, and they're given a stool to stand on, and when they walk in the room, everybody moves away. And the pathologist comes up and never touches the body, but might say, can you move this or move that? And they look and they make that determination. They give the surgeon the okay, and they leave.
I hope it's
And
right. Okay.
hey, your operation continues. But it's really fascinating. Our pathologists are really kind of getting a bum deal, because they are the true doctors that they diagnose everything. Well, you're cold, pneumonia, any kind of blood issues you might have. They check your everything, your cells, everything. It's amazing.
Well, I think it's more of a team approach. Just like a sports team, you may have say for example, baseball. You have a pitcher. He's pitching, but you got a first baseman, second base to back him up and to do their part of the job. So everybody has a part in that. So
well, the pathologist has to know everything. They have to study the disease. They have to study their cells. They do all these triple stains and all kinds of neat things so to make your diagnosis as clear as possible. There's like no doubt that what you have is what you have. I just think it's kind of fascinating when you could do something like that. They're really a scientist, and it's getting harder and harder, but every hospital has one. Oh, and you go to the lab, it's just not going to the lab tech, it's going to a laboratory, and they have all this expensive equipment.
Yep.
And I just, going back to the space issue, just think about the rocks that we got back. You remember when the astronauts would bring back the rocks and they'd go into quarantine?
Right.
And they had to be debriefed, and they washed those rocks, and it was just the weirdest
they
thing.
analyze them for the various materials.
All kinds of stuff.
That they make up, and see if they can, how they're formed.
I know.
All sorts of things.
I often wonder,
That's
what
the
did
way
they
you
really
gain
learn?
Well, I'm quite sure you gain a lot of knowledge from that. Whether or not there's any life within them, those sorts.
Little particles, bugs, any impressions. It's amazing. Just amazing. The human being is such a complex species. Highly intelligent.
And it's constantly evolving. We've come a long way.
We sure have. I don't know where it's going to end, but it is really amazing. Just absolutely amazing. I heard a story about a lady who, she was a obese young lady, and she went to the doctor and, was trying to get some help, medical help, to assist her with losing her weight. So the doctor said, okay, we're going to draw blood, and we're going to take a hair analysis, and we're going to take a skin biopsy, and we're going to do all these things. And she okayed it. And so they did the hair biopsy, and they found that there was a product in her hair. And they said, your body's developing too much, and I forgot what it was. Your body's developing too much of this product, and so we think you have an allergy to it. So she had it in her head that she has this allergy to this particular mineral or food or whatever, and come to find out that if she was would have known to wash her hair in a product that didn't have this chemical in it, that her hair analysis would have been entirely different, and she would not have gone on this tangent, to lose weight like she did. And I thought that was interesting too, because it goes right back to that analyzing. So, and ended up hurting her in the long run, because she thought she was allergic to something, which she really wasn't. It was just that this product was in her shampoo, and it stays on your hair.
And that affected her weight.
And it affected her mind. It affected her, some of her well-being and stuff like that. But we have to be really careful about some of these things.
And some products come out so quick, and then a few years later they come back.
Yeah.
You shouldn't use this and all.
Yeah, I mean, what's on the exterior of our body isn't always that important. It's always the interior, because that doesn't lie. Because it's all there, and that. So it's amazing. It's really amazing what we can do, but we want to make sure that it's right. But a lot's going on in the month of March. We're going to be entering March Madness. So for the basketball fans.
Yep.
Yeah, all you guys that like your athletics, your sports. And then we've got St. Patrick's Day for everybody that likes their green beer. Is it Chicago where they color the water green?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. I always think of Ferris Bueller. That's funny. I have so much going on in March. March is a transitional month. That's a month where we get ready for our taxes if we haven't gotten those done yet. There's just all kinds of things. Our weather is really sporadic. It's a transition.
Yep, it'll be a transition for me.
And you have a birthday. Your birthday's the same day as my dad's, and one of my granddaughters, and my mother's birthday. Yeah, my mother passed away, and she passed away. Trying to think. She was born on March 17th.
Oh, okay.
And then she passed away, and we buried her on March 17th. That's really weird. That's what she wanted. And she had clovers for her flowers. That's what she wanted, clovers. Was not Irish. No, not at all. No, but she had an Irish name, Arlene was her name, yeah. Somebody called me that the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Some total stranger said, Arlene? Like, what did you say? I thought that was weird, because that's not a common name.
Right.
So, but yeah, lots going on in March. Good month. Very good month. And then right around the corner, spring.
Hopefully. With the way this weather is. There's no telling.
I like spring. The birds were singing today. Dave and I were out walking, and they were singing away. Just so beautiful. So beautiful.
I know they're runaway now.
Yeah. Yeah, the frogs are out at the respite ranch. Dr. Chatfield came and got me one day and said, "You need to hear this." And, my one ear doesn't always work because I was born with a hearing deficit, but I heard the frogs. And that's a good sign. The frogs croak like that. They're mating, which is a good thing. That ecosystem out there works. And the more frogs you have, and the better it is. Yeah. So we're just about out of time. We're just talking about a lot of nothing today, but
well, we've had some good.
I lost my calendar. I do not know where my calendar is, and everybody that's supposed to be on the show, their numbers and their names are in that book, and I cannot find it. And I don't lose calendars. I don't lose my keys. I lose my glasses, but I do not lose those things. And I apologize. If you are supposed to be a guest on my show, please contact me and let me know, because I didn't do it on purpose.
I was going to say, make an appeal.
Yeah. I guess somebody says, well, that's what Facebook is for. Well, I'm still learning. If you have any questions or you you would like to even join us on our show, we'd love to have you. If you contact me at 845-6713, give me a call. If you have any caregiving concerns whatsoever, let us know too, so we can help direct you and try to find you some resources that you might need to help your journey as a caregiver be a little smoother, a little more rewarding. Then don't forget to join us on May 18th at the statewide caregiver retreat and symposium. If you are a vendor and you'd like to participate, we encourage you to do that. We don't have very many spots left. They're filling up quite quickly. And so if you would like to participate, you can go to our website, caregiverconvention.org, and register that way as well. So with that said, I think we're going to close our show.
Good
And
evening.
I just want you caregivers to know that you are prayed for every day. Every single day I pray for each and every one of you. I just want you to know God is with you no matter what. Don't give up. Remember not to forget who you are, and to remember that you need to embrace this moment, even if it's painful. There is a reward, and you just need to stay strong. And with that said, we're going to say goodbye for now. God bless you. We will see you next week in March of 2013. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Good evening.